So I know we've all seen the craziness in the news and all over social media of all of the negative things and all of the unfortunate things that is happening around this time of life. But it's time for you to fight for your life. You have to fight for your life, and you have to fight for your life more than ever now, because unfortunately, situations will happen. Things will come about that is unexpected. But I never want you to lose sight of the fact that you have a purpose and a calling that you have to fulfill. I want you to remember to always have a reason why you're doing the things that you're doing. And if you've never had a reason why for your life up until this moment, it's very important and it's essential for you to live the rest of your life with some type of purpose in mind. Having a purpose for your life and having something that you're fighting for every day, whether it's a person, whether it's an idea that you have, maybe it's some type of business you want to start or some type of foundation, it's going to keep you grounded in these moments where there's so much chaos, where there's so much hatred, where there's so much evilness going on in the world. The enemy wants us to fall victim to what's happening around us. He wants us to stop using our voice, to stop talking, to stop inspiring people, to stop dreaming, and to stop living our lives. That's why I say it is so important to fight for your life more than ever. As we continue to go during our life and the rest of our lives, you're going to see things that happen more and more frequently. And unfortunately, some of that stuff is inevitable. It's going to happen anyway. And I pray over those situations in advance, but I want you to know that you can't stop in your tracks and you can't stop moving your feet, because just as these things are going to happen, just as evil people are going to be evil, just as people are going to have malicious intent and be doing certain things in this lifetime, is the same way that you have to be super intentional about fighting for your life, having a purpose, finding your calling, living out what God called you to do. Having peace is going to come from you having this purpose that you're set on. You going after your dreams, you going after your calling. You can't allow these situations to stop you. You can't let the start of this year be started off on the wrong foot because you're seeing all of this stuff happening or because you're witnessing these things take place. I want you to know that you have to have faith in these moments, and you have to know that God is going to be with you and He's going to cover you and protect you. And although these situations may take your joy for a moment, it may make you feel uneasy, as it's made all of us feel, I want you to get back in fighting mode. You can't give up right now, and you can't stop. You can't afford to, because there's people out there that need that word. There's people out there that need that message. There's people out there that want to find that sense of purpose, that sense of joy, that need that uplifting. I know so many of us are ready to throw in the towel, and we're ready to just give up, and we're ready to just stop because we think that all the weight of the world is on our shoulders. We think that everything that's happening around us is too big and too much for us to bear. But at the end of the day, you have to know that God is fighting for you, and you need to fight for Him as well. There's people that is connected to your calling that need you to show up in order for them to keep showing up as well. Like if I would have given up years ago, when I felt the depression happening, when I felt like life was overwhelming, when I felt like my life was falling apart, all of the messages and the videos that I've put out and the words that I've given from being in those situations, I wouldn't be able to do that today. Nothing I've done to this point would have ever been done because I would have given up back then. So I say this to say, you have to fight for your life. You have to stop letting things and people drain your energy. You have to stop letting situations make you want to turn it off, make you want to turn off the light and turn off the plug. No, you have to let these situations turn you up a notch. You have to let all of these situations make you feel like, I have to show up more now than ever. I have to give people that word more now than ever. I have to start this foundation, start this business, do this thing now more than ever. Like, just like how people never know when their last day is. People never know when that unfortunate day is coming for them. Do all that you can do right now, because you never know. Do all that's inside of you, that's burning inside of you, that feeling, that thing that you keep thinking about all night. You stay up all night thinking about it. Do it now, because you never know how long you have. Feel the moment. Understand what's going on. Understand what's happening. But at the end of the day, what you do with that feeling is up to you. But what I would say you should do with that feeling is allow it to turn your fire on high rather than on low. Don't let this make you climb in a box or climb under your covers or hide. No, right now, you really need to show out. Right now, you really need to show up. You really need to do what you feel like God is calling you to do, because you never know. I want this to drive you forward, not push you backwards. Don't allow these situations to hinder you, to make you feel like you should just give up, because there's people that wish that they could be here today, and unfortunately they cannot come back. And so if you know that you've been given another day, that you have another opportunity at this thing called life, if you know that you can continue to do what God calls you to do, at least for another day, then you need to go all out. You need to show up now more than ever. I want you to stay focused on your goals and get back focused on the very things that you set out to do for this year. I know this year started off on the wrong foot, maybe for some people. Maybe it made you feel a little uncomfortable, uneasy, maybe a little unmotivated, but you have to get back focused on your goals. You have to get back focused on the things that you know you need to do. And I don't want you to think that you have to have an A+ every single day. No. I said this year is the year of consistency, even for myself, because I know last year I wasn't doing all I needed to do. I know last year I made a lot of excuses. Last year I said I couldn't do it because of this, or this came about and it made me feel some type of way, so I just sat down for a few weeks, or I thought about my life and I thought I didn't know where I was going or what my plan was, so I just gave up. Like, I made a lot of excuses last year, right? I told myself I couldn't do it many times last year, and I gave myself the reasons why. But at the end of the day, who am I to tell myself that what God has planned for me won't come to pass? The only thing that does happen is we get in our own way. We stop God from moving in our life because we feel the lack of motivation. We don't put in as much effort. We kind of just are lackadaisical. We kind of just chill. But we know that we have things that we need to do. And even though I knew I had things I needed to do last year, and I decided to say, you know what? I'll get around to it when I get around to it. But here's the thing. I wish last year I would have had the mindset I have right now. But towards the end of 2024 is when I started to really realize, like, I don't have to have an A+ day every single day. I just need to finish the day feeling satisfied with at least something. Allow yourself to have days where you're doing at least one thing to push the needle forward. And a lot of my time last year was spent down in the dumps, thinking that I had to be perfect, thinking that it had to be all checks across the board. But what I know now, and the mindset that I have today, is consistency does not look like a straight line. Consistency is like an up and down motion, but it's all moving forward. Maybe you don't have that initial plan for yourself as of right now, or maybe you set a plan for yourself and you feel like you've already messed up. You have to focus back on your goals, and remember, consistency does not mean you have to have a check across the board every single day, but you do have to end your days at least feeling good about something you did. Although all of these things are happening around us, right? I want you to remember to stay focused on your goals, stay focused on your reason why. And if you haven't developed a reason why you're doing anything, that is the most important thing that you should start right now, because that's going to keep you motivated. That's going to keep you inspired. That's going to keep you disciplined along the way. You have to have a reason that's bigger than yourself. You have to stand for something that's bigger than yourself. It can be your kids. It can be your family. It can be your significant other. It can be the purpose that you have for your life and for other people. But you have to have something that is inspiring you and motivating you that's much bigger than just yourself. And remember that small victories lead to big wins. Like I said, it does not have to be a check across the board every single day, but those small steps forward, those baby steps forward is going to make all of the difference as you continue to go. Every single day, you're going to look up by the end of the year. And if you take small steps this entire year, by the time you get to the end of the year, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I did all of this. I can't believe I was just consistent this whole time. I was consistent 365 days. I wasn't perfect. I didn't do everything right. I didn't show up the way I wanted to every single day, but I was consistent, and look what happened. So when you're seeing the momentum happening, when you're seeing what you're doing start to pay off, don't stop in the middle. Don't stop. Don't get confused along the way when it's already starting to work. But a lot of times we want to give up before it even starts to work for us. And it's so funny because the situation may not be working for you just yet, but it's it's definitely working on you. You have to fight for your life. You got to fight for your goals. You have to fight for your passions. You have to fight for your purpose, and you have to do it now. As situations will come about, obstacles will come in your way, unfortunate things will happen. But at the end of the day, you have to fight, and you have to fight now. Some of you may feel like you've been fighting your whole life. And I understand that because I felt the same way at one point. But I know I can't give up now. And I can't give up because there's people that are connected to my calling. There's people connected to my purpose. There's people that I'm supposed to help. And if I give up, God gave me chances over and over and over again because I wanted to give up back then and I never did. Or it never happened. All glory to God. I'm still here to this day. But what I'm saying is, if I would have given up, I wouldn't have achieved the things that I've achieved right now. And so if you're looking at me and you're watching this video and you're thinking about throwing in the towel, if you're thinking about stopping, if you're thinking about pausing, if you feel confused, just move your feet a little bit. God says give him the little bit and he'll do the rest. Like, you got to just give God something and he'll show up for you. He'll show you something along the way. So don't give up. Fight now more than ever and fight for your purpose, fight for your calling, and go out there every single day knowing that God is going to make a way for you.